Well, hey, Kim Taylor. My name is Terry Schiller. I represent Hollyville Inc. We're approaching you in your station. We feel like we have a good syndicated show that we want to bring to you guys' attention. Um, in our research, we had felt out some other deals, researched some other stations, but we feel for this demographic for this moms.com show, where we're looking at that 25 to 50-year-old female audience, we feel like you are going to be our best partner, and we hope that we can reach an agreement there. We see this show as gaining in value over time, so we want a good deal for it, obviously, and I'm sure you want a good deal as well. So we're looking at, in terms of a licensing fee, we would love to get about 70,000 out of each of those. And then as far as financing, we really prefer payment up front. That really helps us out in terms of being able to bring you quality programming into the future. The more that we can have those accounts settled, the more freedom we have in being able to shore up new projects. And then we hope that this would run about in that 5 to 6 range per episode. We feel that we don't want the show to lose value over time. We see it as steadily increasing. So we don't want to burn out audiences with too many runs of each episodes. And then we also have some other shows in the work. We see this hopefully as a partnership that will continue in the future, and do have some ideas of how we can partner again if this is a success. So just kind of wondering, based on that, where are you guys with this?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's great to meet you, Terry. I've been really looking forward to sitting down with you to talk about how we can work together. Um, just to give you a little bit of background to see kind of where we're coming from. My organization, WHCI, our parent company, has finally agreed to let our station purchase the rights to a new syndicated TV program. So the minute I heard that your organization was making moms.com available for syndication, I knew it would be a perfect fit for us and our audience in that 6 p.m. time slot. So historically, the 6 p.m. time slot has achieved high ratings and has also produced extremely lucrative ad revenue. So combined with the fact that most of our demographic aligns perfectly with moms.com viewership, I feel that we both have something to gain by coming to an agreement here. I appreciate you sharing your terms, and I'd like to go ahead and kind of give you our perspective, and then hopefully we can meet somewhere in the middle. So we would like to offer you $40,000 per episode, with a run per episode adjustment of 7. And from a financing perspective, we're really hesitant to commit to, funding so much of it up front, but we are willing to provide you with an upfront payment of 25%, followed by 20% in year 1, 20% in year 2, and the final 35% payment in year 3. How does that sound to you? Is that something you think that we can work on together?
Yeah, I think that, I'm really glad to hear that y'all have interest in this program. And again, we feel like this is the place it needs to land. So I feel good about that. And I think that we can probably land somewhere healthy for both of us. The financing, I'll just be straightforward. It scares me a little bit on our end. That's probably high on our priority list. So we'll need to kind of drill down into that a little bit. But I think if program revenue in terms of that licensing fee is important to you all, maybe there's some compromise in there. We can find a solution.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing that concerns me about some of the specs that you shared is the licensing fee as well. So I think we would be willing to pursue a more aggressive payment schedule if we were able to knock down the licensing fee quite a bit, and maybe do a more favorable runs per episode adjustment for our group.
Okay. And yeah, I think that that is something we can put on the table. Um, I think in order to do that, we would have to approach this a little more long term. I don't know if you're
Absolutely.
familiar. I'm sure you are. We've got another show, Juniors, that we're trying
Okay.
to get into the mix. We're trying to find a spot for it to land, but we had that thought in our mind that if this deal went well, this again would be the ideal network for it, as terms of long-term growth, so that we can flesh out that partnership further. I think if we maybe had a conversation about that show as well, and had that part of this package deal, then we could be a little more aggressive on bringing down that licensing fee price. But again, we'll need to kind of find that out. As far as that licensing fee, you had mentioned 40,000. I know we were starting at 70. And I think we'd be willing to drop that 70 quite a bit. But again, that financing is a little bit concerning. I'm wondering,
Right.
where can you go as far as a upfront payment? I think you said 25%. We certainly were hoping much higher than that.
I think that if you all are able to come down significantly on the licensing fee per episode, that we could do something closer between, I would say, between 75 and 90% upfront.
Okay.
Again, if the licensing fee was dramatically reduced and if we were able to get a little bit more favorable runs per episode adjustment as well to kind of help increase that ad revenue during that time slot, which is a significant revenue producer for us.
Okay. And then as far as runs per episode, I think we our position was more that 5 to 6 range. What were you thinking?
Okay. I would absolutely prefer 7 or 8, 8 ideally, if we are going to make these significant changes to what our expectations were on the financing aspect.
Okay. Well, again, I'll go ahead and just be transparent. I think that financing is a little more important to me or to us as far as compared that to that runs per episode. So I'll just kind of throw this out, see what you think. If you were
Sure.
willing to maybe hit that 90% payments in upfront, we could definitely run that, have a 8 episode run per episode.
Okay. I mean, I think that we could do that in the event that you were able to drop the licensing fee to somewhere closer to 35,000 per episode, with the stipulation that we also, continue to work together on bringing this juniors show to syndication. I know that part of our viewership, part of what makes our station so great to our viewers is that we do bring new syndicated shows very frequently on the air, and I think that our audience would be absolutely thrilled to see juniors on the air, and we would love to have that partnership with you and have those rights to that show as well. So if you all are willing to come down to cut that licensing fee in half to closer to 35,000, I think that we would also be willing to negotiate a licensing fee of about 15,500 on the junior show as well in the future.
Okay. That seems pretty exciting for us. We had received one offer for juniors that we just weren't happy with, but I feel like the value of that show is about what you just said. So I'd be very willing to jump on that. If we include that as part of this deal, we'll call it that licensing fee for juniors, the 15.5. And yeah, I think we can hit that mark with moms.com with the 35,000 per episode.
Awesome. I just ran the numbers real quick in that, and even with the financing changes, I think that that looks really good on our end. I think the licensing fee is really important to us. So I really appreciate you coming down on that. And, I'm glad that we're able to do the financing piece kind of,
Mhm.
to meet what you guys were looking for as well. That I think that's really important.
Okay, great. And just to clarify for the financing, that would be that 90%, year zero. And we were thinking if in this deal, probably 8% that first year, and then 2% in year two. And that way there'd be no payments year three, but we go ahead and be settled
Yep.
up by then.
I think that's fine. I think that we're very comfortable with that. And then, maybe at that year 3 point, we can bring, we can actually bring the junior show into the mix as well in order
Okay.
to kind of further this partnership.
Okay, absolutely. Well, this looks fantastic. Again,
Yeah,
we hope that this is where it would land, and I feel like we landed in a great spot with some setup
absolutely.
for some future shows, and both one in the mix and maybe more beyond that. So, thank
Yeah,
you so much for
yeah,
your time with
absolutely.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you too. We really appreciate it and looking forward to working together.
All right. Yeah. Looking forward to it.